This week on the Cruising Kiwis.
You got this, little bird.
Finn's gonna get wet. Oh! I reckon kids will pay good money to be on this ride.
This is Rob, and I'm Rachel, and these are our boys, Finn, Declan, and Ivan. We have sailed our catamaran Javelot across the Pacific Ocean. We would love it if you join us for the adventure. We're on passage to Vanuatu. So far we have managed to catch one propeller, but no fish. We have a fish on the line.
Got a big one.
It's a big one.
We have to turn up into the wind, Declan. Turn to port. We're going to lose all our line. Oh man, he's really pulling. Far out. Oh jeez. Far out. Oh, damn.
Oh, he broke the line.
Oh.
We have sailed through one field of pumice, had 2 new cases of gastroenteritis. Let's just say the bottom has fallen out of their world, or possibly vice versa. And we have had to say goodbye to the cutest little tern who dropped in for a night for a little bit of R&R. Bye! Bye! Oh, there's 2 of them out there. He's found a friend. He's found a friend. What we forgot to do last week, however, is give you a proper introduction to our new Ginnica, which has been dutifully propelling us towards our destination.
We have a new old spinnaker. We just purchased off a guy, Ted.
What happened to the last one?
Oh, well you may recall we had a few problems with the last one. We had the spinnaker up here and we were unable to douse the power from it, and we were going to get it repaired, and the repair was really expensive, and this came up at the same time. And the critical thing with this one is it's got a sock, and it douses the power when you go to bring it down. And a super big thanks to Grant, who repaired this. In fact, we replaced this rod here when we first brought it apart. The old one was just snapped like a twig. He fixed it. Go Grant. Now, this spinnaker is a bit smaller. In fact, it's quite a lot smaller than the other one. It may be even too small. I don't mind. If it's too small, we can adapt this sock to the big one. Righto, I've had sign from the Ayatollah.
We had a few problems pulling the sock up.
Let's see how come down. No, let that go. Don't want to get that. Just go up. There you go. Keep doing that. Hold it.
Once up, the sail had done a lovely job dragging us along, but with night falling and the wind rising, Rob felt it was time to put the Ginnica to bed. With the sock to douse the wind's power, it was going to be easy to take the sail down, right? Wrong!
How's that?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what's down there?
Oh, yeah.
No? Yes.
The internal dowsing sock halyard had somehow snagged, preventing a simple snuffing of the sock on the sail. Having not yet purchased a quick-release snap shackle, we were forced to pull the sail down manually. Luckily, it was a smaller sail than our original Ginnica, the winds were lighter, and the crew did an excellent job.
Go! Go, go, go!
I'm glad we didn't do that at 2 o'clock in the morning. Can you pull it down now, Finn?
The sock's not working.
Under the watchful eye of a circling bird, Rob and Finn fed the sail back into the sock.
You've got to pull. There's heaps of slack in it. It needs tension.
Yep.
Suddenly they were joined on deck by a tired booby. Yes, that's what the bird's called. Boobies are a varied bunch. There are brown boobies, red-footed boobies, blue-footed boobies, and man boobies. We weren't sure what type of booby we were looking at, but we were certain it wasn't a pair of tits. We know what they look like.
Yeah, he's back.
Did you actually record him landing?
No. No, he's here.
Declan did tell you. Ivan did tell you.
Oh, he
didn't
doesn't seem to have a very good perch.
He's on the wire. He's on the wire.
That doesn't look very comfortable. What are you doing? Whoa.
It is the most beautiful night tonight. We have a full moon. Lighting up the sky. It's like daytime. Except it's not daytime. I'm on my own. Our little birdie has flown away again. I think his perch was a little bit wobbly. It wasn't the rest he was looking for. But Rob and Hiker have winged the sails. We're downwind sailing. We've got 9 knots of breeze. We're going 6 knots. So that's 15 knots true wind. Oh, it's just glorious. Really enjoying my shift. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. It's not always easy to get yourself out of bed for a shift, but nights like this, it's just magical. You can see why people fall in love with the sea life. I'm not a big fan of ocean crossing, but I'm a big fan of nights like this. In a moment of weakness and an unusual display of love for Declan, who was hiding somewhere, we relieved him of his expendable child duties and sent Finn on deck to sort out the kayak that had worked itself loose.
Finn's going to get wet. Finn's going to get wet. Oh! Wow! Geez, we got wet too.
Remember my clothes. Oh, you need to take a video.
Just hold both. Oh gee, we get salt water in that camera. Far out, that was an unusually timed wetness. But man, we just had a change in weather and we had good seas early on, whizzing along, good 15-20 knots, and then it died off. Wind direction swung right through the compass. Right now it came out of the now it's coming out of the south. And far out, there's some wild and woolly stuff out here. Put two reefs in the main really quickly from the full main. God, there's a big squall coming towards us right now actually. We've got about 15, 16, 18 knots right now, but that looks like another little squall and a rain squall about to hit us far out. It could be quite big too. Hey Finn, let's bring in some more Genoa, mate. Bring in more Genoa. Put it down, let's do it right now. Cheers guys. So Ivan, I've come to film your bedroom in action. Here's a room with a view from above and from the side. The view from Ivan's room from inside looking out. There's a kayak above, lovely. So can you give us folk here an overview of what it's like living in this bedroom, up in the bouncy room?
Loud.
Loud? Loud. Anything else? Not bouncy? Not bouncy. Like a roller coaster? It's pretty full on. I reckon kids would pay good money to be on this ride. It's like a non-stop roller coaster and you can't really see where you're going. Sort of in the night, at dark, it's like Yeah? Kind of, sort of. Like, yeah, this one's kind of like green. Yeah, okay.
Sleeping in the bow of the boat is certainly not for the faint-hearted. Océane, a seasoned monohull sailor who travelled with us last year, did one night in the bow, then asked to change cabins. Not so Ivan the Iron Stomach. Ivan thrives in the bouncy conditions.
Come fly away with me. Imagine all the things that we could see. Yeah, don't you know that life's a dance? Come take my hand and fly away with me.
Well, we are nothing if not inconsistent in our decision-making processes aboard the Cruising Kiwis. Today, Declan comes up with, why don't we just go straight to New Caledonia? So while we were in Fiji, we picked up kite surfing, cool thing in particular for the boys to have a go at, and for mum and dad. Vanuatu, there's nowhere to do kite surfing, we understand, as opposed to New Caledonia. It's fantastic kite surfing conditions there. Top of the pros for Vanuatu was Tanner Island, our destination, has an active volcano, which is incredible. Holy shit. But I have to fly back to New Zealand for some work, and I was going to fly back from Vanuatu. Trouble is, the timing for getting back to New Zealand doesn't lend itself favourably to spending too much time in Vanuatu. Pro for going onwards was kite surfing, get there sooner. I might even get a bit of time kite surfing before I fly back. The French food, people, and the wine and the cheese, of course. So we had a conference and we changed the plan mid-journey. We're now going to New Caledonia. Poor hiker, she's very frustrated with us Cruising Kiwis because we can't make up our mind on a day-to-day basis what to have for breakfast, lunch or dinner, let alone decide which country we're going to go to next. So watch the space. We're going to have a kite surfing extravaganza, and I go back to New Zealand for 2 weeks during that extravaganza, so they have the fun and I do the work. It's just the way it is, people. Someone's got to do it.
If you enjoyed this video, please consider sharing it and give us a thumbs up. It helps us heaps.